Ryan Coogler came on to an interview and said that the vampires in Sinners were inspired. A lot of the film was inspired by The Luck of the Irish.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hey everyone, welcome back to Pause Pod, the podcast where two gals who love film try to yap their way into becoming indie darlings. I'm Kara.
And I'm Danny.
And you're watching
Disney Channel!
The way I was really holding in that joke, I was like, I'm not going to tell her. I'm not going to tell her.
Oh my gosh, what is it? The
glow sticks.
dun, dun,
Dun, dun, dun,
oh, wait.
dun. Oh, guys, if you were there, you were there.
If you were there, you were there, babes.
For the Disney Channel glow sticks, how many times did you, if you had, a sparkler and or a glow
Would
stick?
you try?
All my 4th of Julys were, and you're watching Disney Channel.
Disney Channel.
Oh, well, if you guys haven't already picked up on it, we're taking you back today.
We are.
And we are going to be analyzing what is a pillar of culture, I believe, which is the Disney Channel original movie.
Oh my gosh. Love, I went on theme today, and to the audience who is watching, you can see that I am wearing my Cup of Joe merch from a Disney Channel icon himself, Joe Jonas.
Mm-hmm. Stars were born. Stars were born.
Stars were born. Stars were born. And I just feel like this app is a pillar to our childhood. It's a pillar to film, really. Because I don't think they're making teenager films like they used to.
No, and it's really interesting. We'll get into it. Kind of the framing of my research and what came out of it was that these were kid-centered films. And if you came in to pitch to the Disney Channel execs in the late 90s, early 2000s, and your protagonist was not a child, you would not get another meeting. It was truly kid-centered films. And this was pre-streaming, so the made-for-TV movie was a moment.
Yeah, we, went into the Disney CEO's office and said, let's make history.
That's exactly
that's
what we did.
That's what we did.
My gosh, the memes.
The memes were unmatched. The vibes were immaculate. And the music that was coming from this era, cut the cameras. We're not making bops that go to the top like we used to.
We're not. And teenagers were not breaking into the top Billboard 100 like they used
they were not.
to. A big theme of it that I think we're going to learn as we go on this journey, this episode, is that this was a moment where children's monoculture and everyone else's monoculture actually combined and came together. Right. And it created a hole in the space-time continuum. And that's why we remember it so vividly.
Fondly. And so fondly.
Yeah, and fondly.
Yeah.
Before we get into it, we'll give you sort of a rundown of where we're going to go, where we're going to be. We're going to start by setting the scene, give you a little micro-history into the Disney Channel original movie, how it came to be. And then Danny has put together what might be the biggest challenge on this podcast to date, which is a bracket where Disney Channel movies are going to go head to head, and we're going to see who comes out on top.
These are our Disney Channel games.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Yeah. I always wanted to be on the blue team. I don't know why.
I was a red team type of gal myself.
You had to be there. And you know what made the Disney Channel games so interesting for a young kid in it to win it is that is where you got to see their actual personalities and the cross-show friendships and who was actually beefing with who. It was drama.
It was
drama. So without further ado, Danny, are you ready to travel back to the Disney offices of 1997?
Boy, am I. I wasn't even a thought in my parents' little brain.
The penultimate year before Danny and I's birth in 1998. Something was going on in the House of Commons. So let's jump into it. The history of the DCOM. Let's press play. So the Disney Channel original movie actually existed before we think of it, because in the 80s, Disney Channel had a premium cable channel that they were making made-for-TV movies on, and they were bopping around, but everything changed in the late 90s, as it always does, when two guys who you're going to want to remember, named Gary and Michael, stepped up to the plate. So Gary Marsh and Michael Healy were the execs at Disney Channel at the time. And up until this point, Disney Channel made-for-TV movies were like sports movies, scrappy little movies that weren't making that big of a splash. They were kind of just on the side, let's throw some things at TV while the big Disney movies are happening in theatrical releases. And Gary and Mike were like, let's just fuck around and find out. Let's see what happens if we make more genre-centered movies around kids, for the tweens, if you will. And they go on this journey to try and find writers who really can emulate how kids speak and put kids at the center of these films. And do you want to guess what the first major franchise of Disney Channel in the 90s was? It's one of your favorites.
One of my favorites? It could not be High School Musical.
That's later.
That's much later.
Think about your favorite holiday.
Christmas. Halloween.
Yeah, Halloween. Halloweentown was the first franchise
Stop it.
to ever succeed on Disney Channel.
And that checks. Because
it stands
she's
up to
glorious.
this day. It stands up to this day. It also has seasonal rewatch value, which was huge.
Huge. I watched it this season.
Literally, me too. Back in the DCOM Wild Wild West, get this, they shot this film in July. It premiered of October the same year. That is how low budget and scrappy they were. They said, give us a summer. Give us a summer and we'll put out a hit.
They're churning out like Hallmark. Yeah.
Truly. And I read some really great articles by some journalists and internet sleuths out there, which I will link below because I do recommend them. It's a really great oral history. And this one journalist went into the weeds and found some of these producers from back in the Disney Channel days. And a lot of them describe it as its own mini studio because it was so insular, and their greenlight rate was crazy. Out of 20 projects that were pitched to them, they would make 5 of them. So you had a 1 in 4 chance of, if you wrote and you pitched a movie to Disney Channel, they would make it. And it was this sort of old Hollywood studio system of writing and producing films all in this little insular studio.
What a time.
What a time. And a lot of the producers say that they really cut their teeth on it. A lot of them came from TV. So making these movies, they had micro budgets. A lot of them were only $4 million, which for a film is a micro budget. And they just had to go. If it was raining, if something was happening, you rewrite on the day and you get these kids on film. So they start hitting their stride with Halloweentown and other genre films like The 13th Year, the beginning of body horror for a lot of us. Johnny Tsunami, and Zenon, Girl of the 21st Century.
Stop it now.
Which, fun little tidbit, the writer who ended up writing Zenon, she was like the 19th or 20th person that they went to write this, because everybody was pitching like 90210 in space, and they were like, no, this is not for teens, this is for tweens. We need you to really get the assignment. And she pitched Eloise at the Plaza in space, and they said, print it.
Yeah.
Love it. Go.
Run it. Run it.
So like I said, their pillars were kid-centered, kid dialogue, and they wanted not necessarily coming-of-age films, but kids and tweens sort of yearning for something, wanting something, and getting it by the end, whether they're changed or not. They really wanted the kids to succeed and have that wish fulfillment in these movies, which I can definitely see looking back. And then our next tentpole that we go to after Halloweentown is the Cheetah Girls. We're moving into the 2000s, and the Cheetah Girls was the first musical movie that they did. So here's where we have to say that the Cheetah Girls walked so that High School Musical could run. Because the Cheetah Girls did really well. Between the two movies, they had about a 6 to 8 million viewership on those films. And they're like, okay, the girlies are liking this. The kids like to see kids sing. They want to see some singing. But High School Musical truly is the start of something new. It really is. Because this is where big Disney is like, oh, what are y'all doing over at Disney Channel? It seems like you're actually making quite a lot of money with these little teeny bopper films. Yeah. So remember that $4 million budget from earlier? All said and done, after the two High School Musical TV movies, the High School Musical theatrical release, which never before had a child's TV movie gone on to a theatrical release, between the concerts, the merchandise, Disney made over $4 billion in worldwide retail sales off the back of High School Musical. 4 million to 4 billion.
Kenny Takeoff was running that High School Musical set like a Navy. That man made sure those kids were tapping, dancing, singing.
He said, I'm going to turn you into triple threats. Here we go. Time to get to work.
And it worked out.
It really did. And not only was High School Musical this huge financial success, it was a huge cultural success. Like I said, Breaking Free went on to the top Billboard 100. Not just like TV music. These are the pop charts. This is Britney, okay?
Justin, we're competing with Justin Timberlake, we're competing with Britney.
We're really competing. And this is where Mike and Gary are like, whoa. We thought we were just having our own little mini studio, making our kids' films. Micah Healy is quoted as saying that we really had become integrated into big Disney. This is the kind of success that you can get fired for because it's impossible to reproduce. So the pressure is on. No longer is Disney Channel a side venture, a stream of additional revenue. Big Mouse, Mr. Mouse is like, okay, I see what you can do. More, please.
The mouse in the house is running a tight ship. The mouse in the house is like, gimme.
Yeah. So with that becomes the pros and cons of the post-High School Musical era. The pros being bigger budgets. The mouse said, here you go. You've made me $4 billion. I'm going to give you more money to make more billions of dollars. That's how we got the castle and Twitches because of High School Musical money. That's how we got Jump In with Corman Blue and Keke Palmer.
Of course.
All that double Dutch training, somebody had to pay for it. So we really see an influx of funding for these films. But a lot of the producers say, with great power comes great responsibility of this tentpole strategy of the big mouse saying, okay, we want you to make 10 High School Musicals. We want from now on, every one of your films to be $1 million maker. It affected the creativity of the small studio days of the Disney Channel. And when you look back at those earlier genre films, a lot of them are camp. A lot of them are really heightened, really campy. But High School Musical ushered in this, I wouldn't say it's, naturalistic because kids are bursting into song. But it was more like, my world but prettier, my world but better.
Right.
And we didn't get those Zenons and those 13th years that we were getting before. But we did get some big hits post-High School Musical. Like I said, Jump In, Twitches, ushered in Camp Rock, because now Disney's like, oh, you know what else kids like? These stars. They're latching on to the Zac Efrons, the Vanessa Hudgens, and let's start taking kids that we think could launch into stardom and put them in these films. Also, a lot of cross TV to movie, like Ashley Tisdale. She was in Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. They said, let's put you in this. Which kind of started with the Hilary Duff to get Cadet Kelly of it all.
Yeah.
They were perfecting this formula of let's make stars. Yeah, I think the Disney Channel movie is really responsible for, like we said, the Disney kids. These stars that really got made in our childhoods and on the Disney Channel. So from here, sad to say, what comes up must come down. There's definitely after the huge success of High School Musical, Camp Rock, there is a decline in the revenue and the viewership of these films. There's a slight spike when Kenny comes back for The Descendants.
I was just about to mention her. Because when I tell you, I wasn't watching them as like a teenager, but when the kids that I would babysit when I went back home loved it, ate it up. And first of all, I loved it too. I was like, hold on, wait, I'm sad. I'm sad because I am chilling like a villain, you know?
And I do wonder, like, with the descendants of it all, it wasn't just, the talent of Kenny Ortega. I really think it's like people in our age bracket got to return to that bubble for a little bit of, listen, I was walking across my college campus, bump into a little bit of Descendants. I'm not ashamed of that.
But the thing about it is I do think it's the Kenny of it all. And here's what I will say is because that man can make a hit like no other. That man can make a hit like no other. It was because the songs were good. The story of it was good. The kids were dancing. And he just has that, like, what is it? Like the Midas touch where everything that he touches turns to gold. And like, it felt very nostalgic because we had been in kind of like, as you were saying, a slump. Like the hits weren't hitting, the plots weren't plotting. We were in a bit of a Disney slump. And then Kenny came back and we were like, finally,
Father
good
has
music
returned
again. Finally, Papa has come home.
And I think it's hard because I think looking at this history of, the Disney Channel is they were at their most creative when nobody was watching.
Yeah, and there's like proof of like these kinds of campier films inspiring and like sticking with us like well into adulthood because if we remember during the Sinners of it all, Ryan Coogler came on to an interview and said that the vampires in Sinners were inspired, a lot of the film was inspired by The Luck of the Irish.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Which was one of the most campy films that Disney put out, like a little leprechaun man threatening a 13-year-old boy. Love that for us.
And the climax of the film is his basketball game. Hello.
Right. But yeah, like these are the films that stick because it's like, it's not just, as you were saying, like Our Lives But Prettier. Like it was original thought. Like it was original screenplay. You know what I mean?
No, exactly. And I do have some questions to ask you to unpack that bit of it. So you guys can see where this history is going. Basically, streaming came in. All the made-for-TV movies are now going to Disney+. So the DCOM does not really exist on its own like it used to. But with all that being said, I kind of want to unpack, with all that history, why do we think people in our age bracket and a little bit older, the top Gen Zs and the millennials, if you will, why did these films have such a big impact on us? And why are they such a touchstone, like you said, for inspiration to this day? I have a couple theories. One, I really think this was event television for our age group. The sleepovers. Like, you would invite your friends over to watch the premiere of High School Musical 2. Like, I remember that summer, there was countdowns on Disney Channel for the movie. There was behind-the-scenes content being released. You could go on to disneychannel.com and take a quiz to quote-unquote write the movie. Like, they had different questions, like what sandwich should Troy make Gabriella and blah, blah, blah. So there was an activation of the audience, of kids feeling like they were a part of this. It wasn't just being made for them. Like they were a part of it. And I think that was really the beginnings of like parasocial connections for us as a generation, because I don't know about you, but I almost felt like, in a weird way, like these were my films. Like I felt they felt special to me, and maybe that was because they created this echo chamber of these events for us.
I agree, and I think to a point, yes, absolutely, but I think that was the last time in recent, like, history where it was kind of exclusive. Like, it was stuff made for that specific age group, for like the tweens, like not even just teens, like the tweens, you know what I mean? And I just don't think that the tweens don't have a space like they used to, because we had the DCOMs. We had, what was it? Where we could go into the store and get the makeovers. It was like Libby 2 or 2 something.
Yes.
You know what I'm
Yes, the
talking about?
neon, yeah, mhm.
Yes.
People would have their birthday parties there, and you would all get, like, crazy makeovers and get, like, neon strips in your hair and
Yes.
sparkles, and it was crazy.
Exactly. And it's like the kids don't have that anymore. A lot of like these like the tween media is just teenagers. Like
Yeah,
we've
they aged
moved
them up.
they age them up. We're into the summers. The summer we turn pretty. Like we're doing all of these, and it's like very teen centered, and there's nothing anymore for that age group. And that is why it was so successful, because we had our own films, we had our own music, we had our own
Mhm.
stores, we had our own third space. And yes, we had social media, but our social media was centered around those kid friendly topics and those kid-friendly things that were tailored for us, and this generation of kids, like, sadly don't have that. We're having the 10-year-olds going to Sephora. You know what I mean?
Right, and, you're so smart. I love that you brought this up specifically because I was trying to unpack I don't know what it is about your late 20s, but you think about girlhood so much. You're like, "When was I last free?" Um, and I was trying to think, like, why was my girlhood so special?
Mhm,
Why does Disney Channel feel like such a touchstone of my childhood? And you're right,
mhm,
it's because it was made for kids and tweens, and
mhm.
nobody in High School Musical was getting pregnant.
Nope.
Nobody no, no, like, those sort of, like, real teen issues were kept for other things, and in my research, there was a moment in the, like, mid to late 2000s where there was a merger with I don't remember the exact names of it all because 'cause they've changed so much. Basically, Fox and Disney bought, like, ABC Family, basically, and so they could funnel more teen content onto ABC Family, and made for me TV movies that were a bit more teen and adult could go there, and so they really incubated Disney Channel as this
Mhm,
place for this specific age group, and then it made you play, like, like, as you're saying, you go to these places for your little makeovers and your sleepover parties, and the franchising of toys and games, online games, like the internet boom was happening. And as a kid, you can't drive and go to the movies, but you can, if you have a TV in your home, you can turn on Disney Channel. So the accessibility of kids to be able to watch this content. Maybe you had to
mm,
fight with your sibling for what you were going to watch, but you could very easily step into this world on your own, which I think was a big reason why it was made for TV movies. And even if you didn't have a computer or an iPod, like most families had a TV. So, yeah, I also wanted to ask you, this is very random, but one of the Substacks I was reading went on a whole rant about how she learned about intersectional feminism from the Cheetah Girls.
that's so fair.
And that's so fair. And I'm like, I mean, we could talk about, the representation in Disney movies and this and that, but I just wanted to kind of zero in on this because a lot of the movies were girl skewing. Like, I feel like
Yeah.
there were a lot more female protagonists than there were male protagonists. What do you
Mhm.
think about that?
I do agree, but I am going to pivot a bit. I think we
Please
saw
do.
some of our first really powerful and ambitious women
Absolutely.
in this. And if we're taking the Cheetah Girls examples, the girls were trying to build a career.
They're trying to get a record deal.
They were trying to get a record deal.
Mhm.
And if we're gonna point out one girl, it's gonna be our girl
Galleria.
Galleria. Jesus
Galleria.
Christ.
It's okay.
Galleria. Because she was keeping those girls in line in the first movie and in the second movie.
Mhm.
She was like, hey friends, this record deal doesn't seem all rainbows and sunshine. Like, I don't think that we should do this. And then the second one, she was like, hey, we got a competition that we're trying to win, and y'all are out here doing diddly squat.
Mhm.
Diddly squat, y'all are gallivanting around. We can do that after the competition. She was upset, and I love that for her.
And yeah, a lot of these protagonists were kids with specific passions.
Basketball. A lot of basketball.
Singing. Yeah, Disney was very basketball.
Very into
Maybe those
basketball.
execs were like, this is our favorite sport.
Basketball, ice skating, swimming,
writing,
snowboarding.
But yeah, I think Disney really said, you're a kid, you can have dreams, and you can achieve them. Like, it was giving agency and power to the littles. And going back to call back to our fall film episode, we were talking about the generation of tryhards when we were talking about election.
Yes.
And I really do think that Disney Channel for our generation really taught us, like, it's not weird or silly to have a dream, because so many of the films are like Troy Bolton, for example, like, I want to sing, my friends think it's weird, but then his friends come around and then they support him throughout the second two films. So yeah, I think it was just a lovely little bubble.
And that's a display of friendship. Like, okay, yeah, we can think this is a little weird, but also you're our friend and we're going to support you because we love you. The power of friendship.
Yeah, so that's Disney Channel.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, this all started because I was walking to the grocery store and I was re-listening to the album Girls with a Z Rock, which is a compilation of songs from Disney Channel movies, but they packaged it as like, this is the girl power album, and it was all like songs. And I was listening to the song Go Figure from the film Go Figure.
Go Figure.
And I started to cry. And I was like, oh my gosh, why am I having such an emotional reaction to this piece of media? So I really wanted to talk about DCOMs and how they affected us and how that like emotional touchstone, it was like I was being pulled out of like the upside down. But yeah, I think my question to you now is, in today's media, what lessons can we learn from the DCOMs, and why should we still keep watching them and holding them close to our hearts?
And to that, I say, the lessons we learned was kids, dream big.
Dream big.
If you can believe it, you can achieve
it.
Right. The power of friendship. And sometimes being a little camp can spark creativity.
Exactly. And I think with that, don't be afraid to be niche. Like,
yes,
if Gary and Mike can make $4 billion after sticking to their guns and carving out a niche age group and a niche demographic for themselves, don't be afraid. I feel like in this post-streaming bubble burst, they're like, we need to make big films and TV shows that are going to appeal to a wide audience and all four quadrants and da-da-da-da. But like, genre films and niche films are successes because when people love hard.
Right.
And if we as women in our late 20s can be brought to tears by a song from a film when we were 8, that's a legacy, and that's emotion that's sticking with an audience. So
yeah,
don't be afraid to be niche and original, because your audience is out there.
Be inspired, going back to the centers of it all. Like, one of these films can inspire you to create something that is widely loved and that can, again, inspire a next generation of creatives, because I'm sure that Sinners, like myself included, like, inspired dozens of films in the future and dozens of creative ventures in the future. So it's just a cycle, and you can find yourself in that cycle.
And we'll talk about this, probably for years to come, but Sinners to me was like this huge breath of fresh air, this original huge box office film coming out. And yeah, originality begets originality. Ryan Coogler wasn't afraid to be niche. He said, I'm going to make this film about vampires in the deep south, and people are going to love it. And we did, because we could revel in the originality of it
all. And it's so funny because in the interview, the Q&A that this is all happening, the girl Lena, who pitched the film, pitched The Luck of the Irish to Disney execs, was in the Q&A. And he was like, hey girl, thanks.
Thanks. Oh my
hey girl, thanks. Yeah, because you did that. So you too could be that girl
You
in
too
a
can be that
room who
girl.
inspired a director to create something mega, something that, like, because I think Sinners is going to be a spark that kind of redefines the horror genre for
Absolutely.
years to come. You know what I mean? And so the world is big, creativity is needed, and audiences yearn for originality.
So do your thing. Get kids to sing.
Make the kids dance.
Make the kid dance.
And with that, shall we go back? Shall we rewind to our films and start our bracket voting?
Yes, I'm so nervous.
I don't know why you're nervous. Why are
I'm
you
nervous because, as I said before we
nervous?
started recording, this might unlock some Sophie's choices. Like, some hard calls might have to be made. Like, we might really get into the thick of it here.
Okay.
It should also be said that Danny created an incredible graphic for this Disney Channel original movie, Face Off. And if you would like to play along with us, this will be up on our Instagram.
Yes, it will.
And don't get mad at us. We're girls with opinions.
I feel really solid in the choices that I have in my heart. You know
And
what I
that's what Disney
mean?
Channel wants you to be true to yourself.
Yes.
Learn the lesson.
Learn the lessons. And if you disagree with us, please fight us in the comments and maybe we'll reconsider. Maybe we can change our minds.
Please make your opinions known, because these are films that powered a generation.
Exactly. So we're starting heavy.
I'm already sweating.
I would just also like to point out that, yes, I did make this graphic, but I did put everything in a random generator. So I didn't purposefully put two people against each other, Anywho, first up, we have Go Figure versus Camp Rock. Ding, 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 ding. I will let you go first with this one, Kara.
I need to go with my gut, and I need to say Go Figure.
That is fair. I cannot agree.
Great.
I cannot agree. If I'm going based off of rewatch history as well as impact, I have to go Camp Rock. There's more memeable moments that came out of it. We're still making TikToks about it to this day. I just saw 2 cats being filmed to like Fire and Rain. And I know that's Camp Rock too.
That's Camp Rock too.
But still, I'm still seeing just Camp Rock. Just it was that girl, and the knees with the guitar, the girl with the knees.
I know. Here's the thing. I can give it to Camp Rock if we just recognize the song Go Figure is amazing. Just go back to Girls Rock and listen to it. I will say, if we're talking about our generation and our monoculture, Camp Rock was a moment. The greatest, just a little tidbit, the greatest punishment I ever received as a child was on the night of the Camp Rock 2 premiere. I did something naughty. I messed with my brother, and my punishment was that I could not watch Camp Rock 2. I was in agony. I was in agony. I went to the top bunk of my bunk bed and I just screamed into my pillow. I had never felt such yearning. So, you know what? Yeah, we'll give it to Camp Rock.
We must. We must. And for this Camp Rock, you move on.
We move on.
And now we move on to our second. Jump In versus Princess Protection Program. Now, I think I have a hard time with this one.
This is hard. This is really hard.
This is hard.
Because the thing about both of these films show stars that were born that then made other films successful, meaning Corbin Bleu and Keke Palmer. Jump In came right in between High School Musical 1 and High School Musical 2. So we were activated. We were here for Corbin. And then Princess Protection Program, this was after the internet scandal of Selena Gomez and Demi Lovato and then Miley Cyrus and her friends. And that face off on YouTube. We were all there. We were all sat. And they're both about the power of friendship. What is your instinct?
You see, the thing about me is I will forever root for everybody Black, and that is the only thing that's swinging me. I have nothing else to stand on, because Jump In gave us some great music, but I also love push it to the limit. Yeah. And I love Keke Palmer. And who was jump roping? We made a film about jump roping. That is camp. That's
originality.
That's originality. Then we have kind of Secret Spy, I don't know. I feel like my gut is still pushing me to Jump In. But if we're talking about star power, then I have to go with Princess Protection Program. You know what I mean?
Right.
That duo of Selena and Demi was iconic.
I miss it daily.
And the music video that they put out together for their little song, Two Worlds Collide, that was cute. This is really hard.
My gut is also saying Jump In. Couldn't tell you why. So maybe we should
I think we have to. I think we should jump in with Jump In. Now, to me, this is not even competition, but
you don't have my history. You don't know my heart.
No, I clearly don't. Pixel Perfect versus Lemonade Mouth. Determinate alone clears. I'm sorry.
This is the Go Figure Camp Rock face up all over again, because you want to know what's happening inside me right now? It's the battle of, because Go Figure and Pixel Perfect, they were in the pre-High School Musical era, where I feel really nostalgically connected to them, but they didn't activate the world like some of these other films. But Pixel Perfect, oh my god, and I had such a crush. Ricky Ullman was my first crush ever.
I love Ricky
Phil
Ullman.
of the Future.
Phil of the Future, it changed something in me.
And the Pixel Perfect soundtrack,
it's also bopping.
And they were having conversations. Pixel Perfect and Smart House were having conversations about AI.
They were before AI.
Before AI even
came onto the scene.
Oh my god, and the scene at the end when she just runs in the rain. But on the other hand, I remember, this is the great thing about having a younger sibling, shout out Becca, is because we're 6 years apart. So I got to live vicariously through her moment of all these later Disney Channel movies that were coming out. And I got to kind of be like, I'm not watching it for me, I'm watching it for my sister. But I was having great moments. And we had some really great moments singing Lemonade Mouth together.
I'm okay with letting Pixel Perfect slide if it means a lot to you.
I just want to see how she fares with these other films. I wanna.
Okay, that's fine.
Let's Pixel Perfect it all.
I will let Pixel Perfect slide for you, because up until this point we don't really have an OG pre-High School Musical in the mix. We don't have a pre-HSM in the mix. Okay, next. Sorry, this is again no competition for me. We have Cheetah Girls 2 versus Cadet Kelly.
I'm sorry, Hillary. I'm gonna have to go with Cheetah Girls 2.
It's really not even a competition at this point.
After this film came out, there was not a grocery store aisle that the girlies were not stomping down to strut like you mean it, free your mind.
People still go to Barcelona and will still film themselves to the soundtrack.
I recently went to Barcelona with my stepdad, and it was my sister wasn't there. Nobody that would know what I was talking about was there. And we went to these iconic sites, and they're iconic for other reasons, because of the history and the artists that made them. But I was like, this is where Raven kicked her leg into the air.
Exactly.
And he was like, "You're sick.
You're sick. You're sick." Okay, we're gonna move to the next side of this. Now here's where it's gonna hurt me personally.
This is actually some tears might be shed.
Some tears. High School Musical versus Twitches.
No, High School Musical 2.
High School Musical 2, specifically, sorry, versus Twitches. Now. Okay.
Talk to me.
My chest hurts.
What are you thinking, feeling?
Because Twitches, iconic.
Go Twitches.
Sisterhood, realizing they're witches, trying to stop forces of evil. Classic Halloween, and as we've previously established, it is one of my favorite holidays.
There's also some like Hamlet levels of family drama happening with the guy who like is married to their mom turning out to be like darkness man,
evil,
and
it was iconic, and again it has that seasonal rewatchability. High School Musical 2
was a moment in time we will never have
again. We will never have it again.
Gabriella's monologue to Sharpay. I know it to my core.
And I'm just like, there was angst, teenage angst.
There was real drama. Gotta go my own way. Bet on it.
There was a gay allegations.
That goes down in history of like, are aliens real? Did they switch clothes after I Don't Dance? Clothes? Like, did they hook up after I Don't Dance? Because they did switch clothes.
They switched clothes. I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. Where is your heart leaning?
My heart is leaning High School Musical 2.
Yeah.
If you were on a night out and somebody put either Bet on It or Gotta Go My Own Way on, you would scream.
It would make your night. And I have to go.
HSM 2.
HSM 2.
I'm sorry. This is we're making the hard decisions.
That was hard.
Okay.
My heart is going pitter patter. Okay. Again, this one it's not a choice for me. You already know where I'm going with this one. Smart House versus Halloweentown. She dog walks.
Yeah, she is that girl. She is.
And in your history lesson, the girl started it. She started it.
She literally started this whole family.
She literally started this whole family. And I love her to my core. When I tell you I love her to my core, I love her to my core. And so she progresses. This one I think is going to hurt you more than it might hurt me.
Okay, but hear me out. I have a spiel.
Okay, let me tell them what the films are.
Sorry.
So, the films we have slated right now are the Cheetah Girls OG and Zenon, Girl of the 21st Century.
Just vote.
No, I'm letting you do your spiel.
This was my spiel.
I could be swayed. Swayed? I could be swayed.
And I want to swale you. Here's my spiel. Okay.
Do it.
In my heart and mind, the Cheetah Girls 2 is more impactful than the Cheetah Girls 1.
Absolutely, not even a question.
And Zenon, Girl of the 21st Century, why do y'all think that we're dressing in Y2K now?
That's tea. That is tea.
This girl lived in space and she ran that spaceship. She was best friends with Raven Simone. So Raven's in both of them. And she just I want to go to there. I want to go to there. And we still are going there subconsciously through our fashion choices and our callbacks. And I just think like she walked so a lot of these films could run. And because I would choose Cheetah Girls 2 over Cheetah Girls 1, even though Cinderella is a bop,
Bob.
I just think I'd have to give it to Zenon.
And I would agree.
Oh! I was clawing my way to the top, and Danny was like, I'm already here.
I was already here. It was always going to be Zenon for me because the only thing that's tying me to Cheetah Girls 1 is the nostalgia of it all because she started, again, this whole family. And 2, that fine-ass white boy that Raven was dating in that film. Like,
do you think that was the beginning of, like, a lot for you?
I think that was the beginning of a lot for me.
Because let me tell you this. You put a white boy who has a little bit longer hair, cheekbones, and is mean to you in front of Danny, she'll fall every time. She'll fall every time.
Feral.
And he had a little earring? Oh my god, where is he now? God.
Where is he now? Where is he now?
And his little banter with
his banter,
his little boo, Raven?
He was flirty. He was thriving. Okay. Oh, that little white boy, he changed the course. He changed the course of my entire life, you know?
But then she drops him. She's like, yeah, I'll flirt with you, but like, I need to go dance on a construction site with my sister.
But the thing about it is she had her priorities straight. You know, she's like, yeah, you're cute to look at, but like my girls come first. And that is how I like to think of myself too. You know?
I love that. Well, oh my god, now you're convincing. No, it's fine. We're going Zenon.
We're doing
Zenon. It's fine.
We can't be swayed by one white boy.
One man.
That's literally not the point of the whole film.
It's literally not the point. Okay.
Okay. First of all, this is going to be harder for me than it is for you, I think, because I love both of these films bad. Okay. Let me tell you something. Okay, so the next 2 films that we have, stop. The next 2 films that we have is Starstruck and Stuck in the Suburbs. Now, I love these films bad. Okay, I love these films bad. All right, Stuck in the Suburbs, OG fangirl, because I am an OG fangirl. You know, we have 2 girlinas who accidentally switch phones with their favorite celebrity. A dream. That's what I go to sleep as a kid. I'd go to sleep and you imagine dreams in your head. That would be one of the dreams in my head that I imagine as I'm falling into slumber. You know, I'd be like, how do I casually run into my favorite celebrity and make them fall in love with me? Duh.
Dumb.
And then there was a lot of friendship moments happening because Brenda Song's character was, you know, lying about who she was before she transferred schools because she wanted to make friends. You know, there was a lot happening.
And she had a purse that was a soccer ball.
Exactly. Fashion intrigue.
That's important to remember. Okay.
Fashion. However, Starstruck,
I don't know what they put in this.
Shoot it in my vein.
Yeah, because, okay, when I look at these 2 films, Stuck in the Suburbs says you can be a feral fangirl and everything will still be fine. Your favorite celebrity will still do a private concert for you and you'll be able to meet your best friend. That's great. What Starstruck says to me is being mean to a man will always make him love you.
And again, I think that changed my brain chemistry. Like, that was the first, and let me tell you something. That was the first instance of enemies to lovers that we really got as teenagers. And when I tell you, perspective shift.
Also, because this, for us in our particular age, Star Trek came right at the end. We were becoming teens, like we were tweens going into teens. So there was a lot happening emotionally, hormonally.
Right. And when I tell you the books that I read, if it's not enemies to lovers, don't give it to me. Like the romances, I'm like, if it's not enemies to lovers, I don't even want to see it on my desk. You know what I mean? And I think it all came from Starstruck. I really do. And the soundtrack was amazing. The soundtrack was amazing.
I'll be a hero.
The soundtrack was amazing. I don't know. My heart.
Listen to your heart. Listen to your heart.
My heart is telling me Starstruck. And I
will
to.
support you. I will support you no matter what.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Now we've got to go into some cutthroat lightning rounds with these films. We've got to face them off. Okay.
Camp Rock, jump in. I took
okay,
us a moment.
Okay,
we said lightning round and then we got stumped immediately.
And then we got stumped at the first hurdle. I am just going to
off my gut. You go.
Camp Rock?
Camp Rock.
Okay.
Camp Rock. Camp Rock. Okay. We're going Camp Rock. Okay. Pixel Perfect versus Cheetah Girls 2.
I know. We have to give it to the Cheetahs. I'm sorry, Pixel. You will forever be in my heart. Everyone go stream the album. Thank you.
Thank you. Then we have...
my heart skipped a beat.
have High School Musical 2 versus Halloweentown. Wait, guys, hold on.
I'm shaking.
Wait, guys, hold on.
I think we need to talk through this. I think we need to talk through this one.
I think we do.
Okay, I'll talk.
You have to go. Okay. You have to go.
Let's zoom out a little bit. So the music and the cultural phenomenon of the High School Musical 2, even more than High School Musical 1, I would argue, this was the peak. Yes. This was the peak of the franchise.
I do.
This is a story about being true to yourself, not losing yourself when success tickles you from afar. So much can be gleaned from this film.
Though I will say, if I was Zach, I would have taken that offer.
Are you kidding me? I would have taken the scholarship and I would work
I would have taken the scholarship. Worked it out with my friends.
Yeah, because honestly, Zach, I never understood. Sorry, while we're talking about it, I never understood why he couldn't stay friends with his friends and just take the scholarship. I just don't understand. Anyway, nonetheless, so many cultural touchstones moments from this film. However, Halloweentown, whimsical, witchy, also about not judging people. The monsters of this world could be your best friends.
It is also tied to a season. Halloween.
It's tied to a season, so there's rewatch value. Also, it's like being 13 doesn't have to be like, oh, now you're a tween and you're weirdly sexualized. No, you get to be a witch and you get to still play and have fun with magic.
Right.
So there's a lot here. There's a lot here. In terms of overall impact on my life, I do think I would go with High School Musical 2.
I think so.
But Halloweentown is just, it will always be near and dear.
It will. And I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. In my heart, in my personal ranking, I'm going Halloweentown. But in the cultural zeitgeist, I have to I have to do High School Musical. It's okay. Then we have Zenon versus Starstruck.
This is where we're gonna fight.
This is where we're gonna fight. Actually, okay, go ahead. I think you can make your argument.
I think this one is tricky because there's no monoculture factors here. It truly is opinions because these are two B-sides of the Disney Channel original movie catalog. So I don't know.
Right.
Convince me.
Okay.
Go.
Let me tell you something. First of all, we're going soundtrack. Amazing for Starstruck. Again, and we were talking about enemies to lovers. It gave us so much substance and so much to chew on. And I personally will always choose a film where 90% of the film is the girl being mean to the man and him following her like a puppy, personally. Right. And then I also think that Sterling Knight was robbed of the stardom that he should have gotten.
He's kind of like a Drusilla in that way.
I think so. He was robbed. He was robbed by Disney, and I just feel like I can't rob him here.
Yeah, you're right, because Raven's always going to be okay. From Zenon.
We have Raven. We have Raven in Cheetah Girls 2.
In Cheetah Girls 2. And God bless her. I don't know who the blonde girl was. She's in my dreams. She's in my life. I don't know her name. Who was actually Zenon.
She plays Maxie in General Hospital, a soap opera.
I love that for her. Because in a way, Sterling Knight almost he could have been Zac Efron.
He could have.
Exterior factors and timing of the market just worked out for him. I'll let him win here.
Thank
Because
you.
if I'm comparing Supernova Girl to Hero, I do think Hero is the better
Right.
song. All
I
right.
do too.
Okay, now
Thank
things are
you.
getting crazy.
Now things are getting Cocoa for Cocoa Puffs. Camp Rock versus Cheetah Girls 2.
Cheetah Girls too.
Yeah.
Done.
Done and dusted. And then again, High School Musical 2, Starstruck.
High School Musical
High
2.
School Musical 2.
Ooh!
We have the battle of the sequels here, baby.
The finale. Who thought we'd end up here? Okay. But it feels right because these are two of like the biggest ever.
The biggest
Oh my God.
to
Okay.
ever do it.
This is really hard because every category where versus it's like soundtrack, monoculture, lasting memories, they tick every box, both of them.
Both of them.
In a way, okay. For some reason, what pops into my head, because this is like an impossible choice, we have to refer to the little sprinkles to put it over the edge. And I would rather a girl group reign supreme. I'd rather just give it to the girls, you know?
Because the thing about it is what do we have in Cheetah Girls 2? We have girls going after their dreams, right?
Exactly.
We do have a little bit of romance. We have ambition, you know, because and each girl gets their own side story. You know what I mean? Each girl gets her own side story. And then we all come back together, amigas cheetahs, friends
and
for
even
life.
Galleria learns that like you can't solely be fueled by ambition. You must also have friendship and listen to other people and collaborate.
But then also her friends were like, yeah, we were kind of shitty for the way that we acted. And we weren't thinking of the group as a whole. We were thinking about ourselves. And that's on us. And they came together for a resolution.
Yeah, in a way, Troy learns a similar lesson, but it's more of a solo story and we don't have all those different
We don't have all
pieces.
the groups. And then like there's a breakup and then a makeup. And then it was just, it was messy. It was messy and it was drama. And I don't know, I'm going to pick the girls every time. And again, I'm rooting for everybody Black.
Exactly.
And
as we said before, this is the beginning of intersectional feminism.
And I have to allow for my girl. And I think it has to be the Cheetah Girls too.
Think if we put like Bell Hooks and Gloria Steinem in a room and they watch Cheetah Girls 2, like, do you think a part of them would like it?
I think they would. I think they would.
Amazing. Okay, well then, Cheetah Girls 2 has reigned supreme, and it just goes to show that, like, when you strut, you gotta strut like you mean it.
Come on. Wow.
Wow.
That felt a lot.
Like, that tested my heart, that tested my mind. And let this just be a lesson to seek joy and let nostalgia, you know? It's important in this world for us to reach back and think about, like, the films that made us. And I hope everyone, after listening to this podcast, turns on their favorite DCOM and rocks out.
Right. Like, I'm looking at this and I'm like, well, yeah, now I know where my taste in media comes from. And my taste in men.
All roads lead back.
All roads lead back.
So with that, let's connect back to us, to our present, to our here and now. Danny, what gave you pause this week?
I'm so glad that you asked. My sister asked me to bake her some cinnamon rolls this past week.
Delish.
And of course I did from scratch, mind you. So I had to get the yeast and all
Danny
of that
doesn't
out.
bake anything that's not from scratch. I hope y'all know. Betty Crocker who?
Betty Crocker who? I haven't baked cinnamon rolls in a long time. I think the last time I baked cinnamon rolls was when we lived together.
True.
That one time. So it's been a minute.
Well, they're a lot of work. That's probably why.
They're a lot of work. They are a lot of work.
It's like rising, there's
proofing,
there's things.
It's a lot of things. Simply fantastic cinnamon rolls. They came out of the oven, fantastic. My nephew, his father took him to daycare. My brother-in-law took him to daycare, and he was like, "Hey, you can have a cinnamon roll when you get home." And the daycare people were like, "Oh, are they cinnamon rolls made from scratch? Like, did you make them from scratch?" He was like, "Yeah, my sister-in-law made them." And they were like, "Ooh, can we have?" My brother-in-law called me and he was like, "You have an order. Hello?" He
He's
was like,
pimping you out.
He's pimping me out. He's like, "The daycare folk have asked if you can make them cinnamon rolls." And I was like, "You know what? I have nothing else to do. I'm just sitting here on their couch eating their food, watching their TV. So why not put me to work?" And so I got myself back into the kitchen. Nobody wants to work these days, as
Nobody
Kim
wants to work
Kardashian was,
these
nobody one
days.
works these days. I got back into the kitchen and I made them another batch of cinnamon rolls and they came out so good. They were so
Probably
good.
because you were your good karma points of like making baked goods for your community, for teachers molding the minds of the youth, really
Right.
infused those cinnamon rolls with a little something something.
Right. And I was just like, wow, I love that I'm giving back to the community. And anyone who has to deal with my nephew for 8 hours a day, I applaud them. I applaud them. I bow down to them. I wish them nothing but love and joy because that little boy is a lot to handle. A
All
lot to, I
geniuses
love him
are.
to death. Love him to death. But oh my God. And that's what gave me pause is I gave back to community. I gave back to my community. And and you know what? Let me get into the camera. You should know this too. Give give back to your teachers. If you know any teachers, if your parents are teachers, anybody, support your teachers because this generation of children, oh my God. Oh my God.
And you know what is great about this is that both my dad and stepmom are teachers, shout out.
Shout
And
out.
they're high school teachers, so it's a little bit different, but like, let's be a little more original than a Starbucks gift card because every
Yeah,
holiday season, the amount of like they both walk away with like $150 in Starbucks gift cards because, and it's lovely because people obviously are like, teachers are tired, let's have them treat themselves, get a little treat, which is great, but let's branch out, let's be a little creative, and it doesn't have to be crazy big. Just make them some cinnamon rolls and be like, thank you for molding my child's mind. I know it's really freaking hard.
it
Yeah.
is really freaking hard. Anyways, that said, this message is I love teachers and I value you and you are doing the Lord's work. Amen. And I wish blessings and prosperity onto you.
Amen.
It's so Kara. It's so Kara. What can you post this?
This is like really hard to follow, and mine is so silly and small. And I did not empower my community by any means. But I'm gonna, spin this to say, after you finish giving back to your community and spreading the joy of cinnamon rolls, which everyone should be able to experience, you must also give back to yourself. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a little story of when life gives you lemons, lemonade might appear, Beyonce might drop a surprise visual album, and you have to be ready to take that in because the lights in my bathroom, this is so small and silly, but the lights in my bathroom kaputs went out. And you might say, Kara, how many zillennial movie watchers does it take to change a light bulb? And to that I say, the lights in my weird, freaky London flat, I can't change myself because of the light fixtures. I can't get in there. I cannot. It's like literally in the ceiling and I can't do it without tools and a contractor. Anyway,
Terrible.
so I didn't have lights in my bathroom for about 2 weeks. I was in the darkness in the bathroom. But you know what this spawned? Candlelit showers. Candlelit showers.
I love candlelit showers. I love basking. I've taken dark baths before.
Turn
Like
the
just
lights
completely
off.
turn the lights off.
Turn the lights off.
Baby, lock them doors and turn the lights down.
Basically, I have been taking candlelit showers and it's glorious and it's beautiful and it's gorgeous. And in this cozy season, it's a great thing to do for yourself. And we all know the overhead lights are just not it. They fuck with your circadian rhythm. Everyone needs soft, lovely light. Be careful with y'all fire hazards. Don't burn down your house, but I urge you to do a little candlelit bath or shower. I don't have a bathtub, so I'm doing what I can. And now that the lights are fixed, I'm like, oh, it's like a surgery in here. I might just continue to not use the lights in my bathroom.
Should. I've seen like the people who kind of go overboard on TikTok with like creating aesthetic bathrooms, but nevertheless, I've seen them have like these battery operated waterproof shower lamps.
Yes, and that's my dream.
It's so cozy. Like, I will give them that singular one thing. That seems like a vibe.
Anyway, so the moral of the story is bake cinnamon rolls and use candles.
Treat yourself and treat others.
Treat yourself and treat others, and that is honestly what Disney Channel taught us.
And that is what Disney Channel taught us. That is. And take that lesson with you as you go through this week.
Yeah, thank you guys for following along on this kind of fever dream of an episode. This is a bit of a different episode structurally for us. Let us know if you like these sort of specialty episodes that are a bit different from our normal film analysis episodes. We want to hear from you. What do you want us to watch? What do you want us to review? Is there another niche pocket of cinema and pop culture that we should dive into? Tell us, please. And where can they tell us that, Danny?
You can find us on socials, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at PausePodGirls. And yeah, shoot us a comment, shoot us a DM. We want to hear from you guys. And I hope you enjoyed this episode, and we will see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.